are doing travel around.
Point, the whole 9 yards. And even now, you take her
Okay,
to a
we're
bar to
gonna.
dance, and she dances like Elaine
Everyone?
from Seinfeld.
Hey.
Okay, we ready to go? Okay.
Let us take a moment to pause for and honor Carmen Miles, the beautiful young lady who sadly lost her life over the March break. Carmen was a student of Artie Parker Collegiate. Our thoughts and prayers are with her family, friends, and district staff at this time. Can I get a motion to resume the meeting? Trustee Lawson? Trustee Young? All in favor? Our Treaty 5 acknowledgement. We acknowledge that we are signatories of Treaty 5 and that we reside in the traditional territory of Nichisawasi Cree Nation. We are all treaty people. Adoption of the, regrets from Trustee Humby. And adoption of the, approval of the agenda, as circulated. Trustee Tomaszewski, seconder. Trustee Sharker, all in favor? Adoption of the minutes of March 14th, 2023 is circulated. Trustee Sharker. Trustee Young, all in favor? And now to the fun part, delegations and presentations from Riverside School.
Good job, Elise.
So, first I'd like to introduce all the people here at the time. So we got Leo, Lane, and Elise, and then me, Keaton, you know me.
Absolutely.
And of course our teachers that are present at the moment. We got Madame Jenkins and Madame Mackenzie over there. So this is all the members in our student council. We have 18 members. So originally, to get into the student council, we had to write a letter on why we wanted to join. And some people were cut, and these are all the people who made it. So after all the people that got in, we decided to make roles in our student council, such as me, I'm the president of the student council, and then Leo, over here, she is the vice president. And then the rest of our roles include the secretary, Michael Womble. He's not here, but he was just in charge of writing down everything that has happened throughout all our meetings. We got our treasurer, Lux and Hallie. They're not here either, but they're in charge of handling all our money. We got our teacher communicator, Daria. So if we wanted certain things, we have to ask a teacher or whatever. That was Daria's job. Our Mr. Womble liaison, Mr. Womble, our principal. We have to get permission to do certain events through our school. So that is Kirk's job. And for our poster makers, we put posters all around the school to for certain, if there's a big event or something's happening, we like to go and make sure everyone knows about it. So we get a poster maker, Abigail. And then of course our snack attack supply stockers. So in our school we have a snack attack, which we'll touch on later, and they just stock up all on resources, and that is Michaela and Gracie. That's all I have to say, ma'am.
Why are students join student council? They join student council to become a leader in the school and to be part of a group that helps plan school activities. To see smiles on students' face after activities. To be a role model and a good example to other students. To bring new ideas. To open Snack Attack, which is a school canteen where students can purchase food during lunch hour. This helps the parents who did not pack a lunch. And to be part of a community.
We should have given back to our community. We gave back to our community through the big sale we had on the Christmas concert. And the money that was raised were used to purchase gifts for the kids at the YWCA for Christmas, and we raised over $1,000. Oh, we also did at the Christmas concert a food drive, and this was donated to the Boys and Girls Club. The movie night was we purchased non-perishable items for the Boys and Girls Club, and purchased 2 Christmas dinners for families at our school. We also did the school-wide gift card purchase, and money was collected to purchase Walmart's gift card for the families affected by the tragic house fire. And last but not least, we did the Winter Wonderland.
School fundraisers. We had the pizza hot lunch, Valentine's Day dance, candy grabs, hot dog lunch, and snack attack. Portions of the money will be raised to use garden at the school and purchase for summer toys for classrooms.
So the main goal of student council was to create a positive and fun environment for all the students, so they can have fun events to look forward to, and just overall have fun. And there's some right here that we did, and Spirit Week, and oh yeah, and I did forget to mention in my first thing, we had some other teachers that also helped out lots. We had Madame Houndel, Madame Sam, and Madame Watkinson. And that is it. We don't want to take questions.
So as a student counselor, you all grade 8 students?
Okay, so yes, I did also forget to mention this. It is mostly 6 and 8. It's 6, 7, and 8. In my first slide, it is mostly 6th graders right now because none of the 8th graders wanted to. I tried to convince lots of them. They didn't listen to me. Yeah.
So you guys are grade. What grades are you in?
I'm in grade 8.
8.
6.
Wow, good for you guys.
So what is your next plan? So what are you planning the next for this summer or anything?
We have planned nothing yet, but
We did plan some things, like we planned to make a garden in the school,
yes.
and we also plan to make some fun activities during the summer, like it's still in we're still thinking about it, but we planned on making a sports day, like where the students come together and have this fun sport afternoon. And the garden, like we plan on giving each classes a plant to plant, and find a place in the school, to plant those things, to grow plants and have a school. Got it.
Do we have enough fund to buy the stuff we need for the?
Yeah,
Yes.
from Snack Attack, the money we raise from Snack Attack, another activities we did, we're gonna use that, to for the summer activities during the summer.
The school fundraisers helped us with lots of the things and the things we're going to do.
Yeah.
Like what I said.
That's a good VP you have right there.
Yes, I do.
The last question, so, the last question, sorry, I just a question. So if one of your council members bring a new idea, how do you accept this idea?
So-
So voting or the discussion or anything?
So it depends on what kind of idea it is, and if it is appropriate, some of us will have to ask some of our teachers, and then if so, sometimes we kind of did a vote at one point on certain ideas, if they were good enough to be able to, or if it gets brought up, and if it gets approved, it gets approved. Kind of like what you guys just did.
We have a certain Mr. Womble or something, and if it's approved by the teachers will tell them to go make sure it's approved by the principal.
That's what our teacher liaison does. That's what Kurt does. He goes and asks Mr. Womble if it's like a school-wide event. We go up and ask Mr. Womble, and if he approves it as well, then that's when our final events gets approved. Same with things like the dance and Winter Wonderland. Yes.
Your Winter Wonderland's awesome every year. It's always awesome to see you guys set up there. So keep that up. How do you like being politicians?
Politicians? I basically just get called Mr. Prez a lot in my classroom. That is my nickname now. And
So one thing I would encourage you to do
Yes.
is keep on volunteering. Okay.
Unfortunately,
Your generation, the young generation, there's so much strength in that. And understand that until you're 18 years old, maybe not at home, but the power you guys have as young adults is immense. I know you probably don't understand that now, but when you guys go to businesses or places like this and you ask for things or you tell people what you're doing and then you ask, the power you have is great. So use that for good. And when you're done with high school, get involved with the service group, right? Whether it's Kinsmen, Cadets, Lions, whoever, volunteer, keep that going. We need people like we need people like you in the community. So keep it up. Very proud of you. Yeah.
Have you guys put any thought into challenging any of the other schools into planting a garden or something like that?
no.
Yeah, challenging other student councils.
Unfortunately, we have nothing like that. I want to do that with Deerwood though. I have a personal rivalry against Deerwood right now.
We'll go for it.
Yeah, I'd like to hear the challenge.
Get your approval first.
Get my-
Yeah, get your approval.
Yeah, get your approvals first, though. Yeah.
Well, we'll wait till Knights of Columbus, then we'll see.
There you go.
Oh.
Just 2 comments. Keaton, I'm really happy to see that you're going to be at the next book club.
Thank you.
April 25th, that's awesome.
I missed it because I had work, I think.
I heard, but I'm glad you're going to be there. I'm just wondering if you guys can provide us any insight into what you're doing for Knights of Columbus.
Oh, for Knights of Columbus, this is just me. This isn't what the student council has done. So far, we've just been doing practices, conditioning, and that's about it. We've done a lot of running.
Bribing any refs or you worked on bribery yet or no?
I know most of the refs.
No school pom-poms, so you're not going
Oh, no.
to... Next meeting.
Yeah.
Next meeting.
Yeah. Perfect, thank you.
Question. Did you guys run elections to get your positions?
Yes, we did run elections. I believe I did mention that. So basically, after our student council was picked and all the people were cut, after the harsh cuts that these teachers made over there. Yeah. after the hard cuts. We did do votes for various positions. Like I said, I'll touch on this. So basically, we did the smaller things first. No, we did the bigger things first. So for the vice president, it was basically that unless you were trying to run for president, which me and Leo did do, I ended up winning the election, so Leo became the vice president, the VP of Student Council, and then we did that with many other things. We gave around a piece of paper with a bunch of names on them. It was a completely anonymous vote. We had people circle who they wanted in that position. And then the teachers tallied up the votes, and that's how they were selected.
So Keaton and Leo, when you're graduating in 4 years, it's a terrible thought, I know.
I've been thinking about this for like
You
the
guys-
last 3 years.
Yeah. Well, enjoy it while you have it, let me tell you.
It goes fast.
It goes very fast. Just thoughts, maybe run as co-valedictorians,
What?
right? So valedictorian, right? You're like the you represent the graduating grade, right? So you get to have the final say of the students at graduation. And it might be very cool to do that as co-valedictorians, right? Just a thought. And if you forget anything, she's right there. She'll remind you. Yeah.
I just have a question for the grade 6 students. Do you guys plan on staying?
Yeah, I'm planning on doing it next year and probably the year after too.
Good.
All right. You better get president.
Yeah.
You're taking my role next year.
Shooting for the stars, look at the president.
Does anyone else have any questions?
I have something to touch on for sports day. If I see anyone in Calgary or Flames clothes, Calgary, no. I'm sorry, no.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Well, you guys should be very proud of yourselves. And kudos to the teachers as well. I was on student council in high school, and I know it takes a lot of time away from things, so good for you guys, and keep up the good work. It's great.
I mean, as long as we're going to snack attack, we get 15 minutes off of class.
I was going to ask how was the pay, so I guess that's
Yeah.
The perks.
The perks, yeah.
How about the perks?
Yeah. Not student council, jeez. Snack Attack was my personal favorite. We tried to do it, oh my gosh, it's been a year ago now. Ugh. No, 2 years ago now, whoa. So we tried to do that 2 years ago with our original student council, but unfortunately we didn't have as many members as we did now. I think we had like 21 this year, and then we had some cuts, and now we only have 18. The harsh cuts.
That's the hockey player.
Hockey player and me.
Yeah.
But to be honest, the best thing about student council, well, my best thing about student council is seeing the smiles on everyone's faces, like the little kids. On the dance, I was at the dance and I was like, everyone danced. I was like, oh my god, this is so fun.
You tried to get me to dance, and I said,
like everyone was dancing. Like it was so fun. And Snack Attack too. The first day of Snack Attack, we both were together and everyone was smiling. There was this bright smile, the atmosphere. I was like, you know what? This is so fun. Like I was really grateful. I want to say thank you to the teachers and everyone who made student council happen. Like I'm really so proud of myself and you guys for letting us bringing up student council and stuff like that. So I want to say a big thank you to you guys.
I have a question for you.
For me?
Wow! This is on behalf of the grade 8 class. We sent a complaint. Our teacher made us write a complaint to you. And I was wondering if you received it.
Oh, and so did we.
Yeah, so do we.
Yeah, we were forced to write, I think it was a couple paragraphs on something about a snow day.
Yeah, we had to.
And they're forcing me to do this
We
because
had to write.
I responded, didn't I respond? That wasn't just
our teacher didn't tell us anything.
That was recently, or was that last year?
That was not last
That was
year.
recently.
That was a little bit recent.
I've
I will check my spam.
It probably got lost in snow.
Got lost in the snow.
Yeah.
We had to write a couple paragraphs over how our door was packed with snow and we couldn't get out of it. Our emergency door.
Okay, I messed up. Maybe that went right.
That's a health and safety violation.
Fence is on.
So you're lobbyists too. I like it.
We didn't know anything about that.
No, that was just my personal question because my class is forcing me to.
Hey, you know what though? That's fantastic, right? Like that's that power.
Just remember, as president, you have to address Superintendent Bartlett. I need an answer.
All right.
All right, then we'll get you.
All right.
The answer is we couldn't keep up.
And thank you to your teachers.
I'm just gonna say now, sorry for my handwriting. Good luck with that.
Maybe that's what.
Oh. I couldn't read it. It's legible.
Well, you guys go home and study, okay?
I didn't get homework.
I did it. No, you shouldn't have said that on camera.
Yeah. You're on camera.
On Thursday, you're gonna get homework.
Just so you guys know, everyone that comes and does a presentation for us, they get a special prize when they get back to school. So we're expecting something on behalf of the board.
It's a snow shovel.
Or maybe it's a response to an email. It could be anything.
A very good quality snow shovel.
An ergonomic friendly snow shovel.
Normally it's food, but it'll be
Yes.
Alright, if Madame Miller or Madame Mervet is watching this, I better not get homework when I get back to school.
That better be the gift.
Yep.
Oh, what if that is the gift?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that could work.
Oh, I hope not. Yeah, anyways, thank you for listening to our presentation.
Thanks
Thanks
for coming,
for
guys.
coming.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Business from the previous board meeting. The Finance Committee has reviewed the request from the Board of Directors of Kitty's Northern Preschool for a continuation of their lease agreement for the 2023, 2024, and 2024, 2025 school years. The lease has previously been renewed on a yearly term dependent on the space at Deerwood School. Trustee Sharker had requested additional information and that this item be tabled until tonight's meeting. The Finance Committee recommendation is that the Kitty's Northern Preschool lease agreement at Deerwood School be renewed for the 2023, 2024, and 2024, 2025 school year.
Could you say that again?
No, because I'm getting crazy with all these 20s. Trustee Lawson, do I have a seconder?
I'll second.
Trustee Tomaszewski, any discussion? All in favor? And we will move on to Superintendent of Human Resources and Policy Report.
I just, written report. I was at a number of work and community-related events. Just a few things I'd like to highlight. The intern leadership group participated in an evening session facilitated by myself on the 5th of April. The session topics covered an overview of all admin procedures regarding accessibility. I'm sure you're all aware that accessibility is very much at the forefront in terms of government initiatives as well as lots of legislation coming out. And the focus was on accessible employment practices. So many of the people in the internship group are wanting to someday aspire to be administrators, and they're involved in hiring. So just how we do that and how we make our hiring practices, and even our screening process is a little more accessible to people. We reviewed and updated the district accessibility plan and submitted it to the province. I thank the policy committee for helping me review the policy before it was to be turned in. I've completed and submitted our annual FIPA report, which is required by the Department of Legislative and Public Affairs with the Government of Manitoba. So we need to every year submit how many we've received, how many we've responded to, did we respond in the right amount of time, what were the actions taking place, and if we at any time required any extensions on some of the FIPA requests that we received. Just a reminder, and you guys don't have to commit now, but we will be hosting the Regional Science Fair at Riverside School on the 21st and 22nd of April. If any of you are interested in judging, please let me know. Essentially, the time commitment will be Friday evening. I will facilitate like a little judges information session with you. You'll have the opportunity to go through, pre-read some of the projects before the contestants or the participants are there, and then you're kind of prepped a little bit when the participants come in terms of what kind of questions you'd like to ask them, and that goes on Saturday morning till about noon, and then so yeah, it's probably Friday evening and Saturday afternoon would be the time commitment. I've spent some time at Artie Parker during the basketball provincials. As part of the entertainment portion of the tournament, they also hosted their mini winter festival in order to give the out-of-town guests a chance to participate. So yeah, they really they really piled on all of that stuff. Yeah, it was a little, I just want to give a huge shout out to everybody who helped organize both the tournament and the mini winter festival. I mean, I can't even start listing people because it took a lot of people to get that off the ground. I spent some time in the coaches lounge, and they were like, it was crazy the compliments people were getting.
Yeah, they sent him a bunch of letters and stuff.
Yeah, like it was a really, really well organized event, and they did a good job in terms of like just the coaches room and how they rolled out the red carpet, the gifts that they had got donations for coaches, like different pictures of the North by different Northern artists. Like it was top notch. They did a great job. So I just wanted to make sure I said that. Yeah, and that's everything. Does anybody have any questions? Go ahead.
Just one of the teaching positions that we've posted.
Okay.
So we have not a number, but I know we have some teachers who are working towards that certification. I don't know what's that is a specialized license agreement we have with some teachers.
We have what we refer to as a classroom permit.
Classroom permit.
Yes, so there's
Two types. There would be a limited teaching permit, which would be what your substitute teachers would have. So that kind of gives you the, you apply for that, you send in your transcripts of whatever last educational institution. There's, you do your criminal record check, your child abuse. So that limited teaching permit allows somebody who's not a certified teacher to be a substitute. There's also another criteria there we refer to that would allow somebody to do a longer term in a classroom who is not a certified teacher, and then we apply for a classroom permit for that person.
And then so I'm thinking of the teachers who are certified in a certain area and they want to work towards becoming an accredited teacher.
yes.
Do we have any who are coming up on that year end or the end of the timeline there for getting that done?
Okay, so I'll give you, like for an example, I have a difficult time recruiting, let's say, a red sealed carpenter.
Right.
So in times past, if you didn't have your vocational education certificate and your red seal, I would always have to repost that job. I mean, I have a difficult time recruiting for those positions as it is, so we've gone through with certification, I've gone through with them, and they are saying, okay, the red seal, as long as they are working towards getting their vocational education certificate, I don't have to post their job, because no one's going to leave industry to come to me for a term and then have to reapply for their job every 10 months, right? So as long as they at least take 1 to 2 classes within that academic year, then automatically their permit is renewed for the next year.
Do we have any of those that are in risk of not being completed and having to post those, or is everything on track with who's taking those?
As far as I know, everything.
Yeah, okay.
I've
Never run into any problems.
Okay. What's the timeline for getting that?
They don't really give you a timeline as long as they continually, like, I mean, and there's things that come up in people's lives that they've,
Yeah,
you know.
for sure.
But they haven't said like, oh, if you don't have it within a certain amount of time, that there's a different situation where you would say you had teachers coming from, say, out of province, out of country, where they will give you a provisional permanent teaching certificate, and then there's timelines.
Okay.
Like those will expire, and they'll give you like, let's say you have 4 or 5 years to take. For example, they may need an English course or a math course required by the province of Manitoba to certify as a teacher here, and they'll give you a timeline. And your provisional, usually those provisionals are, 2 to 3 years at a time.
Okay.
And with renewal, depending on where people are at, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, moving on to the Superintendent of Educational Services and Programming report.
Highlight a few things. Events and meetings are there. I did miss March 14th. I did spend a full day at the Mamatuiswin workshop that was provided here in Thompson. The attendance for March 2023 is there. As you can see, none of our schools hit the 90% attendance rate. And just note that number of students transferred into our school district, we had 13 students, and number of students who transferred out, we had 42 students transfer out. So that's a higher number than we normally see. If you look, I provided the year underneath. Last year's is underneath. Respect in School, we are now 100% complete for all permanent employees. We do have a few substitutes who are not done, but they've been notified that they will not be called in until complete. So there's only about, I think, 3 or 4, and they're not people who are called in on a regular basis. So we're good there. I did attend the convention with a few of the trustees, so I just put a few of the convention highlights. I did get a chance to listen to Chief Cadmus DeLorme, and he delivered a very powerful keynote. I don't know if people have had a chance to see Chief Cadmus DeLorme. He's quite amazing. He's focused on the inheritance of the system that we are in, and that as Canadians we need to fix it. He talked about Indigenous people needing to work twice as hard to be validated in mainstream society, and that we need to validate the truth of Indigenous peoples in Canada and move to reconciliation. We need to talk about it and learn the truth. He speaks about vertical lineage versus horizontal survival mode learning. And one of his quotes was, show them your heart before you show them your hand. He wants his daughter, who is, I think she's 6, and other Indigenous children to grow up without having to heal. And that really resonated with me. It's something that many of us have to live with every day, right? And then that's the work that's before us. And I did have a chance to secure him to come to Thompson for our October 3rd PD. Initially, he's a very, very, very busy man, but he does have his plane tickets to come to Thompson. I've secured that. I want to make sure that he's here. So he's going to be here for half a day to speak with our staff, with our teachers. And then he's going to spend a half a day meeting with some of our kids, and the plan is I want our grade 8 and grade 9 students to come. I said I figured if we entice them with food and the promise of a fantastic speaker, they would come. So I know it's their day off because we've been told that we need to take that day as a PD day, so I'm hoping kids will come. So he's secure, pretty excited. I attended the Power Partnerships presented by the Swan Valley School Division, and they have a ton of partnerships and learning opportunities that are available to their students as well as their adult learners. They have something like, 30 different trades and opportunities. It's really amazing, and they're a smaller division than we are. Mm-hmm. But they have things like the electrical program, the movie industry, technology, environmental management was really cool. They talked about that and how they have students that are involved in building the nests, and they go out and they do the water samples, and that's in conjunction with resources. They have carpentry, professional driving, the ECE program, welding, automotive, heavy duty, and other apprentice trades. They have partnered with UCN, the Louis Riel Institute, the province, and other businesses that are able to provide the programming. It's staffed with a full-time high school administrator and a full-time mentor. So something I think definitely we should be looking into.
Did you go down to Swan Valley?
No,
No?
no.
I'd be interested to see some of this in action. I'd like to see some of this up
It
here.
was just amazing, like what they were talking about. I'm thinking, wow, it's doable. Their philosophy is that they apologize to the school district, Mr. Like, they feel that they're very remote.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was a great presentation. So yeah, I'm gonna just do some follow up on that.
I'd like to see some follow-up on that. I'd like to see some.
Yeah,
Myself,
just-
I'd like to visit and see what they're doing.
And they do have adult learners, but they've worked through that. Then I attended the session with the authors of the Valley of the Birdtail Sioux, which if anybody would like a copy, I have an extra copy here. And basically they shared the experience between the settlers and the indigenous peoples in the area of the Wayway-Sakapo and Russell area. They've written this book for educators, and the takeaway is, how do we create an environment where indigenous kids feel like they've been seen and heard? It's about truth and justice. And then the last day was spent listening to Natalie Bergstrasser and her experience with trauma. And she was a kid that was raised in care, very successful. She's a social worker. I believe she's a registered social worker. She's got a master's. And just how she says, yes, of the power connection and the science of hope. So looking into that a little bit more. And then I listened to the resolutions and elections, which is always interesting to see where people are positioned in the province, right? What we think is, yeah, people are saying no. We're like, oh, okay, different.
I think we voted opposite almost all the resolutions.
Yes.
Completely misread the room.
So yeah, it's always interesting to see that. And then I attended the K-12 Education Action Plan. It's a provincial implementation team. We'll be meeting 4 more times over the course of the year, and the group is comprised of education department leads and a senior administrator from each of the school divisions. And the goal is to work through the 4 pillars of the K-12 Education Action Plan. And this is, I've shown you this document many times. This is what we'll be working through. So I think our next meeting is May 17th, and it's an all-day meeting. So working through that. Yesterday I had the Manitoba Rural Learning Consortium meeting, and we're going to continue on next year, and this is our teacher professional development. We're going to continue on with our same cohorts. The NAP, which is the numeracy, is a 2-year project, but we're going to add another numeracy group, and we're also going to add another teaching to read, and we're adding a ELA curriculum, implementing they call it the new, which is actually, it's been out for probably 5 or 6 years, but with COVID it kind of got halted, the new ELA curriculum. And also the Mamatawisawin, this will be the only professional development that will be done with this document. The province won't be doing this one anymore. We did have 16 district people attend the March 16th or March 14th session that was here in Thompson. So we're in good shape around that document. And I think everything that's being released, the number of documents, you'll see these 2 in all of the MISO publishing. So we're doing well there. The next one that we need to really take a look at is the attendance directive. And I'm going to be calling a small group together in May. The survey is due to the province May 31st, and I believe I have May 26th. No, that's a Friday. Maybe not May 26th. May 24th. May 24th or 26th. We have the staff barbecue, so we're going to have to figure out the date, but any trustees who are interested in sitting on that, I'll remind you. And
I'm around.
okay.
You don't have hard copies of those 2 documents, do you? Are there any hard copies around? No.
I've probably got a couple in my office.
This one they printed very few. Like these are.
Gold.
Oh yes, yes. I might have another one.
If you see a hard copy
Yeah.
hanging.
But yeah.
I think I've got one in my office.
Yeah, they're available online.
Yeah, it's not, I have a.
I'm like you.
I'm the same.
I need to
If I
see
see a
it.
hard copy, I'll read
Yeah.
it, but online.
Okay. Do you want me to get these printed for you guys?
Sure.
Yeah? Everybody wants? Okay. They're certainly worth, and actually there is, in this document, all the roles and responsibilities for everybody. So students, teachers, school leaders, senior administration, like everybody's in here. Your trustees, you have a role to play also, so that's. Yeah, they're online.
Okay, you can send us.
Okay. Okay, and then I'll print out some copies for you guys. Okay, that's, yeah, that's what I've been up to.
So not busy at all, eh?
I'd be bored. Yeah. Yeah. And I think I can, do you want me to do the next one, the calendar?
Yeah.
It's, so this is the calendar that's proposed. It's due to the province for May 1st. The few changes. So normally September, the first 2 days, we would have an admin day and a PD day. We have taken back the PD day because we've been mandated to have a PD day on October 3rd because of the provincial elections, which makes October very
short.
Short. I think it's maybe 15 teaching days because we have Thanksgiving in there, and then we have the 2 MTS PD days in there also. So that's. It is what it is, yeah, we're good. And then in February, normally we have the TTA PD day on the 2nd. It's usually that first Friday. But because turnaround day at Artie Parker is on February 1st, that means there would be no kids at all. So they wanted to move it to the 9th. I checked with Kathy, TTA was good with it, so that day is going to be on the 9th of February. And that's the only changes. Yeah.
I've gone on. I went on to MTS's website, and unless they're wrong, is Sage not October 20th?
Oh, you're right. It is October 19th, 20th, right? I didn't look.
Kathy? It normally is the 3rd week, not, you're right.
Okay, so we
Good
need to
catch.
move that up.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
I didn't even see that. Okay.
You were just testing us. That's all.
No,
right?
I missed
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
How come the schools have to be closed for elections? I remember having.
So do I.
The province mandated it. Robert mandated it.
We are hosting it, are we not? Wow. In the past, we hosted it and still had school?
Yeah, always.
Yeah, like I remember going to school and there was elections going on in
the gym.
This is the first time. This is the first time we've been told that we have to have a professional development day.
Yeah. All my years as school principal, we had lots of
Yeah.
elections.
All those people coming in.
Yeah. So we won't approve this tonight. We'll get those changed. We still have time next. It's good. We have time the next time we meet to approve it. So.
Well, can we approve
We
it
can
just
approve
for
it with
amendment?
those changes.
Yeah?
do an amendment.
Okay.
That way you guys can get it out.
Yeah, because I know people are asking.
Yeah.
People,
People are already planning their lives.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
When's lunch break
Yeah,
next year?
okay.
Wow.
So Kathy, we're 19th and 20th is the MTS. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're gonna change that and then we can.
And what's the education week? There was no orange in there.
Oh, so that one we tried to find online. Like, normally it's just sent out. Like we just got that today.
Okay.
So we tried to stay ahead of it.
Yeah.
But we were a little confused as to which week because I think there's 5 weeks. Yeah, there's 5 weeks in April next year. So when I talked with Charmaine, I said we'll just add it.
Yeah.
Because we can add it to our calendar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't affect closures or
No,
anything.
Yeah.
So.
I just didn't. I wasn't sure if it wasn't covered by now.
Yeah, no, you're
Okay.
you're right.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I guess
The 2023-2024 school year calendar has been developed in consultation with the senior administration and school administration and complies with all regulations of Manitoba Education. The school year calendar is required to be submitted to Manitoba Education. The recommendation is that the 2023-2024 school year calendar be approved with the changes, yeah, with the changes to the October MTS PD day being the 19th and 20th. Can I get a mover for that? Trustee Lawson? Seconder, Trustee Young? All in favor? Or I guess discussion, but we already had the discussion, so all in favor.
It's nice too that the Christmas break is 2 solid weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not splitting that up. Like it's Monday to Friday, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyone else have any other questions or for Lori? For her
First day of
report?
school will be September 6th.
For students, yes. Yeah.
I do have a couple questions. So that Respect in School, it's a 3-year program or a 3-year accreditation?
I think it's 4.
It's 4?
Yeah.
So at the end of the 4 years, we're gonna have staff, we'll give them half a day to do that again? Or is that going to be on their own time?
I guess we'll see what the province is mandating.
Yeah,
If they're
appreciate
mandating we do it, then we'll say
Yeah, okay,
we could probably do the half day again.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then just on, there was a student support review. I'm sorry, I closed your report. Just student support review and reporting visit. What is that?
Oh, that's student services. So all our student specific plans, they're
Yeah.
going to come in and they've picked our students and they're going to look at their students.
Student support as like.
Yeah, like they used to be called IEPs, but now they're student specific plans.
Okay.
So they'll come in, they'll do some visits, they'll look at the documentations, and then they'll come
Oh.
back with feedback for us.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So that's province.
Yeah.
Province comes.
Yeah, yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
They're here for 2 days.
Nice.
Any other
That's
questions?
it. Yeah. Thanks.
Seeing as there's none, we'll move on to the Secretary Treasurer's report.
Included in your board package is the expenditures for year-to-date. This was as of March 23rd, 2023. At that time, we were 66.8% through the school year. Our expenses year-to-date, including the summer accruals, is $28,182,026, 62.4% of plan. So we still are tracking nicely. No surprises still at this point in time. We're making it through the winter. That's all I have this evening. Next meeting will be a lot more cuts. Yay.
Moving on to new business. The procedural bylaw establishes rules of procedure for the guidance of the school board and conduct of its meetings. 3 readings are required for substantive bylaw revisions. A, powers and duties of the Board of Trustees in Section 1, vacancy after election bylaw, by election. The addition of number 8, 2A, and the addition of Section 1 has to be reviewed by the committee. The document has been circulated with the proposed changes identified. Recommendation that the procedural bylaw 03-23 be given first reading of amendments to A, powers and duties of trustees, number 8, and Section 1, vacancy after election / by election. Oh, sorry.
I thought we had some, we came back from, as a policy committee, we came back to ask them to, because we.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Was something done in the meantime?
No.
Okay.
No, I think that as I read it here, we have the 2 options.
Yes, we
And
do.
so we were going to discuss, rather than us as a committee, because both options have their merits,
Right.
right? So we did not want
But
to
I don't think,
recommend-
what I'm saying is then I don't believe we're ready for a first reading yet.
No, I think that we
those-
need to discuss it first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. I don't think we're in a position
Yeah.
yet to choose.
Choose, yeah, so,
No.
okay. Sorry, we just that was probably
Yeah, I
the
think
way it
our
was written.
intention
That's
was to
probably
let's
my-
discuss it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So just take this off?
yeah, we don't need to do first reading because we still have to, the committee's coming to you folks for recommendation as a committee of the whole with regards to which way we want to proceed. because there's a couple of procedurals. So it's either an option A in the procedure or an option B in the procedure of, you'll see if you read the procedural bylaws. So I would, table it.
And then we'll discuss it in camera?
Do we vote?
Oh, I
Or
mean,
we'll
it doesn't
discuss
need
it-
to be discussed in camera. We can,
We can discuss it.
Table it to a committee of the whole.
or table it and have a discussion. It doesn't have to be in camera. I think we could probably discuss, and then,
Yeah, I think we just need to discuss the merits of it.
Right.
I don't know that we want to do it with necessarily an audience, maybe because it's some of tedious details.
okay,
You
so
know,
yeah,
you know.
we can push it in camera, but it's nothing that,
So we'll table the first reading of the bylaw.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because we have to choose an option.
To table the
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
Oh, motion to table the first reading.
I can second. I'm nervous to throw things in camera that don't have to be in camera, so I don't think
It doesn't have to be in either, it just has to be a discussion.
Yeah, it's just a discussion so that when it comes to the vote, we can make it, everybody can have.
for sure. No, I just-
It's a significant choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I just think it should be in regular camera. That's
Oh,
all.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the readings will be, it's just the discussion. Like all the readings have to be.
No, I know. I think the discussion should be in, I don't think that, it doesn't, I don't think fall in the merit of going into in camera to talk about,
Sure.
about the options, that's all. That's just my opinion. If you got, like, you know.
I think it was, table in camera for the sake of
Time, because there's some, it's nothing that needs to be in camera. Essentially, what we're trying to do is there's two options, and if you folks are in an election situation, if there are not enough people running, there are kind of two ways in which we can go about procedurally to get people to run, i.e. you post it in the paper, they kind of do an application process, and the other is kind of shoulder tap by.
It's an expedited.
Yeah, an expedited, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a time sensitive option,
Yeah.
and then there's a lot more drawn out, labor intensive option.
Yeah.
So.
So, all in favor for this to be tabled?
So that's the first reading. Are we going to consider or continue with the details of it, or is that going on next week's agenda?
No, we'll discuss it, pick an option, and then put it in for first reading, because right now we have both options in there, so it's,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
for clarity.
Yeah.
So are we picking a time to discuss this? Are we discussing it at our next board meeting? Are we?
No, I think we should discuss it today. But I guess the question is, do you want to put it in camera and save the back and forth, or do you want to do it now?
Did everybody have an opportunity to read the two options that
Yeah.
were presented?
Yeah.
Has anybody got any thoughts with regards to?
What's the,
Really
like,
doesn't-
provincially, what's been happening provincially with?
We're kind of out of the gates here.
Oh, are we?
Yeah, a little bit.
Look at us go.
Yeah.
A lot of people did it differently. Like the PAW did the application process and the interviews, and then and then in Winnipeg, like how they're divided in their little.
They are in
areas.
wards, right? So there
Yeah.
are some things that are
The
significantly
wards,
different.
One ward did it differently than another ward. They're kind of like all.
Yeah, and whether they did it on the spur of the moment or whether they have any language.
Typical Manitoba all over.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like whatever the if there wasn't enough people, the pre-existing board decided at that time there was no real policy or anything to determine anything really.
That's why. That's why they're highly recommending that we
We'll look at it.
investigate this and look into it to put it in procedural bylaw, because I think just this year, I believe, coming out of COVID, I mean, many places were short in terms of people running for municipal elections, people running for trustees, and trying to fill those slots, and there being some type of procedure. I mean, sure, the Public Schools Act states Yeah.
We were.
Well, yeah,
exactly.
well, I mean, Lindsay told me flat out she was gonna put my name down if we didn't run anyway, so, but I look at your option 2 here as what somebody would do if they wanted to run anyway, so if somebody didn't do it in the first time.
That was my argument. I was like, this seems very cumbersome for a situation where you didn't have enough people to run to begin with.
Yeah.
But more transparent.
But more
I think the argument
with the person who
Is that
selected.
one is basically a finger tap. You know, like, hey, you know, there's an empty spot. Do
Yeah.
you want it? We don't have to publicly advertise it. We don't have to go through, you know, the 2-week process of waiting for people to collect their applications, almost like a job interview. That's option 2, where we post it and advertise it. The option 1 is, you know, you have to think about the window when the election happens. This past year, it was the 2nd week of October. The first time we met to be inaugurated in, that was what, the 1st week of November. So you only have 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna treat it like a job, where we're gonna post it in the Citizen and go through the 2 weeks of collect the CVs, and then the committee has to meet and deliberate. I mean, we're looking at a 3-month or a 4-week process. So the option 1, we thought, okay, this is the expedited process, but there's no transparency. There's no second call. You know, the public doesn't get to put their say into it. So, you know, we didn't want to, as a committee, we didn't want to recommend, because there's ethical and pragmatic pros and cons
And
for
I,
each.
like we said, I was with Brian. I mean, people know when the elections are. They either put their name forward or they don't. So now we're making the task even more onerous by now they're applying. So, but I guess that's the decision you folks are going to have. There's pros and cons. Yes.
Kelly?
We'll know prior to the election date whether there's enough positions, because the date of the election is an election. Papers have to be filed much sooner than the election day.
Yeah, because
So you would have more of a.
Or when, yeah.
We'd have 4 weeks at least till you're inaugural meeting.
Yeah, we had, like, you guys knew that there was enough and we weren't going to election in September, right?
Yeah, so you would have 6 weeks until you're inaugural.
It's okay. So, just a couple comments. So I agree with what you're saying about not the ethical side of it, right? Like the board picking. But we didn't have an election, and nobody in the community understood our platforms, and that's okay, right? So, how is that different than the board? And I'm assuming it would have to pass by 2/3 majority.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to accept it. Where PSA right now, they don't have to accept it. You are on the board. So that's my big difference. Like, it's 2/3 majority, and if Joe Blow doesn't want to do it, I'm not accepting it. So you know you're going to get someone who is at least somewhat dedicated to the position, because if they're not, I don't want it, right?
Yeah.
I know that the city was very nervous about their current and active, law that, they can pick whoever they want, which is scary.
Yeah.
I also think that we have a school division to run, and option 2 could be very, very lengthy. And we're not the ones who are going to be doing it. Our senior admin will be doing it, and they have much bigger things to be handling. So, I personally, I'm okay with option 1, as long as we can put in that option that it's 2/3 majority, unless that's defined in the public schools.
Yeah, I'll look. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
And I guess it should be made clear too, because there was some talk, is it the old board that appoints the new member, or is it the new, and we had said it's the old outgoing board?
Yeah,
that will make that
because
decision.
you folks aren't board members until the day you
Right.
get sworn in.
Yeah, so this is something that would be done proactively before the new board is brought in.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Yeah, so I'm for option 1, as long as the 2/3 is either in the in that option or it's in PSA.
Okay.
Any
And-
more discussion? I guess we could just simply vote on.
Who wants option one and who wants option two?
Yeah, so I guess that's what we'll do.
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe we were overthinking it. That's my job, is to overthink things.
But I will say, I appreciate you guys coming to the board and asking and coming with the options. My only request to the committee is coming out of the committee, what did you guys feel was the best option?
I could say myself, as a committee member, I like the expedited option, the option one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a voting member on the, on the committee, however, me too, option one, just, maybe it would be, the other way would have been in a bigger center where they had wards, but I mean, I think in a community of this size, many of the things that happen are shoulder tapped, really anyways, like somebody going and, you know, appealing to somebody to put their name forward in an election or doing that. I mean, it's the kind of the will of a small town, so.
Cool. How about the other members? What did you guys think?
Okay, we'll vote for, oh, sorry.
So I think the option one will be the emergency solution.
Yes. Yes.
Just to, because the option two is the lengthy process.
Yeah, I think the option two, I looked at it from the ethical again, that the general public, who may have thought, well, I didn't know that nobody would run. Hell, why not put my name in? And that would give them a second kick at the can, you know. And so I guess one is to use a structural, one is a centralist. It allows those in power to decide who the new member is. The second one is a decentralized. It lets the general public decide to have a second kick and
But
decide
it
if they
doesn't
want to
really, though, because you have to apply, and then who are they're getting interviewed by?
It'll be the old board. I mean, you guys,
Yeah,
it wouldn't be myself. I mean,
But some
obviously-
people just don't like to run in an election.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
You know.
I can't hire my own bosses.
During the September meetings, there would have to be a motion on the agenda where the board would take action to pursue
Sue.
this. So it would be in the public arena, per se, to put it out there that people are aware. You're not doing it
Oh,
behind
that's
the
true.
scenes.
Scenes.
They would be very aware that, okay, polls are closed or the nomination papers have been closed. As a result, we have this many vacancies, the board will be moving towards this, and it would be in public record.
I mean, it could happen. The reason, I know, like, because you guys could very well inherit this problem 4 years from now.
Yes.
The other thing is, if you get into a situation, it works for a by-election too. If you know you're going to be in the same situation during a by-election, if that happens, and it may. I mean, we've had by-elections and with this board in the past. And then if you wouldn't get somebody who stepped forward, you didn't have majority. There's some things that could happen. So it's a good thing to have. So we all kind of know how to maneuver around those things.
Well, it is a bylaw. We always come back to it. If it happens, the board of the day doesn't like it, they can change it back.
Yeah, as long as the public and the board, we all know what the rules are, and there again for accountability. Yeah, we don't want to wait till the crisis happens and have no method and think, oh, okay, what do we do, and then make a knee-jerk decision.
Okay, let's take a vote on, is it?
Adopting option one.
Option one.
Yeah, I like.
So I guess we don't have to take a vote for option two. We'll just,
I will look into the 2/3 majority and then rewrite the amendments to the procedural bylaws to bring them up, and then we can vote. You guys can vote or do first reading at your next meeting.
I would even say, even if it is in PSA, it probably for the board of the day to have 2/3 in there, just so that happens and doesn't cause issues down the road. It's probably a good idea.
You can always, you need to do the minimum. You can always go above.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to correspondence. The Minister of Education and Early Childhood Learning sent us this today. That's why it wasn't added to the agenda. he just proclaimed the week of April 17th to 21st as Education Week in Manitoba. And we'll, I guess we'll have to, we'll put this.
We'll send it to the school.
Remind me, what does that
Okay.
entail? What is
It's just,
It's celebrating
It's
everybody
just
that's
a
in the
That
celebration.
works.
There's not
It works towards-
particular events happen or?
Our district event we had decided would be May 25th. We're going to have the staff barbecue again and the games.
Oh.
So we were waiting for better weather. So the principals know that.
Oh.
Although it rained like
So it's just an
crazy last year.
awareness.
Yeah,
No,
just
yeah, one year I think we did try to do it, but like we do it in the parking lot, and I don't think anyone wants a barbecue right now in our parking lot.
Yeah, it's an appreciation.
So
Last year it was almost like that. It was pretty chilly.
lots of people came though. It was
Yeah,
great.
it was
Oh, yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's a proclamation. So we'll make sure that gets up onto the website also, or to the Facebook page. Yeah. Yeah.
And the e-bulletin from the Manitoba School Board Association is attached. Everyone can read it.
Is anybody going to CSBA this year?
That's a hard no, probably.
I'm gonna say no.
July
probably
3rd.
Not from here.
Okay.
Does
When-
every district, you just put your name in, or do we entitled to one
Well,
or two seats,
we
or?
would have to vote.
Yeah, it'd be out of province, so you'd have to,
Yeah.
yeah.
You have to have money in your budget.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and is there money in the budget?
Well, this is next year's budget, it starts July 1st, so you're back at square one.
Yeah, do we ever send anybody to this?
We have.
Actually, I went and presented one year when it was in Toronto, with the province, and Wesley Tucker came, and,
Sandra had gone to Saskatoon, I believe.
yeah, oh yeah, that was, they had the big Indigenous education one, yeah.
I don't
So-
know around, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Alan Campbell, who's the MSBA president, is the CSB president. So I went to one in Vancouver. It was
Past president.
Yeah,
or past
he's the
president.
past
Sorry,
Yeah, we
sorry.
did one today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Vancouver. It was fantastic. It's well done, high end type of
If
stuff.
there's interest, we'll need to bring forward a motion for trustee trust.
Okay, moving on to committee reports. Policy committee, trustee,
I'm up. Oh. We met on the March 23rd at 5 o'clock. We talked a lot about what we just talked about. But so we reviewed newly developed procedural bylaws regarding the vacancies, and we discussed the option 1 and 1 and 2 to great length, and could not really come to a consensus because they both had their merits. So we decided to leave it up to the general board to decide. So that's where we are on that. We talked a lot. Angel talked about in the report accessibility. So that's a big issue right now. So we reviewed updates to the district accessibility plan before it needed to be submitted. So it's been submitted. So we thank Angel for having done that. And we reviewed procedural bylaws 11, which we talked about committee of the whole. And did you ever get to consult with Janice?
No, I haven't yet, but
Okay.
there were a couple questions that came up during that.
Yeah, I myself have never sat in a committee of the whole, and so myself, I asked some questions. Well, what does it look like, and are there records of it, and who is allowed and not allowed to go? And so it brought up some questions. So we're going to reach out to Janice Arnold with the Manitoba School Boards Association and see get some input.
Okay.
So we're going to be revisiting possibly the committee of the whole bylaw.
You may know this. Who's responsible for taking minutes during a committee of the whole? If it was a trust,
It's not trustee only.
it's
Committee
okay.
of
That
the
was the
whole
other
is all
question.
Committee of the whole is similar to a standing committee, only it's
All everybody. Okay, so it's different. Trustee
At
only is
senior.
different. Okay, that's where
So
we have
what do you call it if the trustees just meet?
trustee only.
And that's covered in the procedural bylaws as well, trustee only, who will call.
Oh, so that's not a committee of the whole.
and no minutes are taken.
And no minutes are taken of that.
No.
No.
Not of trustee only, committee of the whole is.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
There.
So there you go. We don't stop with that. So okay, that's good. So we discussed that, and we reviewed board policy number 1, which is about mandate and legal status, and there were no changes recommended for that. And next meeting is yet to be decided?
I gave.
Or I think.
We could do it after TTA liaison, or the 20th or 21st. I think is what.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Oh, no, sorry, 19th and 20th then.
We have city liaison on the 19th.
City liaisons 19th.
Oh, it's after city liaison we could do it, because we'll be here.
Yeah. Maybe you even proposed that.
Yeah, I did.
I want to say I've
Anyways,
seen
I'll
this
go back,
before.
well,
Yeah.
I'll email
I think
you
we're
guys.
in the process of deciding
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, TBD.
Education and programming is trustee Humby, and she has regrets. I don't know if you, we'll just,
Our next meeting is planned for Tuesday, April 25th at 5 p.m.
okay. Public Relations Committee is trustee Tomaszewski.
We don't have a date scheduled as of yet.
Finance, Property and Personnel Committee is trustee Lawson.
Yeah, so we met before the meeting, had a really productive meeting. Really the only thing coming out of it is we are going to be bringing the trustee indemnity bylaw forward at our next regular board meeting. And other than that, that's about it.
I have a question on the committee
Pardon me?
before we move on.
Did we discuss?
Oh,
the
thank you.
That's actually in the other committees, which is actually what I was.
Okay, so that's not that, okay.
No.
Sorry, Chairperson Anderson, sorry.
Yeah.
We did also receive our 5-year capital plan from Orist, and we'll be submitting that. Yeah, it'll be coming to the next meeting as well, so.
Good.
Yep, thank you.
Yep. Other committees, now that everyone's back, I'm just, had a note to make a meeting date for the Personnel Committee because we, just haven't been meeting and everyone's kind of crazy.
I've been in Winnipeg.
Well, and then the last meeting was canceled
Yeah.
and that was me, so, we can make a meeting date, after the meeting, I guess.
Sure.
And we'll move on to trustee comments. We'll start with trustee Sharker.
I'd like to thank the Equal Riverside School Student Council to show their activities, what they're doing at the school. This is a great start for the future leaders in our community. And I'd be happy if we have any option to support them there in the funding. They're doing their lunch catch-up program or anything from our school board. This would be a great help for the student council. That's it.
Just further to Superintendent Bartlett's comments about the basketball provincials. So I was on social media and I've went to a few of the different teams that came up, and I think that they did the North very, very proud. And I agree, there's so many names involved. So just a huge shout out to all of them. And I hope that that we're able to host another provincials and have those people involved again. I'm very happy to be back. Thank you all for dealing with me on Zoom, and to Joe for making sure we had Zoom. And yeah, thank you.
Trustee Young?
Good.
Trustee Tomaszewski? Trustee
This is the first time we've met since convention, so I want to say in the Manitoba School Board's convention, it was very enjoyable, and I had a good experience, and I'm looking forward to meeting with those people again. Lots of fascinating experiences, people in there, and the speakers were great, and it was interesting to watch the new leadership. You know, I want to go on record thanking the past president for his work. He's quite. I didn't know he was 10 years younger than I am. I'm thinking, jeez. He just seems to have his finger on everything. So what energy.
Everybody's
Wonderful.
10 years younger than me now.
National president is doing this and that.
Get that in your head.
So thank you to Alan for his wonderful work, and good luck for the new president. I wish you the best.
Yeah, I just wanted to say the same as Trustee Warner Brown, Superintendent Bartlett, and Trustee Lawson. Well, not all the same, but like, yeah, we went to the convention together. It was really awesome. We actually got this book.
Yeah, it's been designed.
And we're gonna leave it at the front for anyone who wants to read it. They can sign it out, or just ask or email or something. I'm not gonna. Oh yeah, in the library.
Not your signed copy.
Yeah, but not my signed copy because I got mine
Lori
copy
has
is signed.
Yeah, Lori has
We're gonna give the unsigned copy.
It's very valuable.
Yes, very, very. It's gonna have to go in my archives. Yeah, and about the Artie Parker provincial basketball provincials, it was amazing. I've seen all the comments and it was just awesome. Like everyone wanted to come back and they had just left. So, and that rarely happens in Thompson. So yeah, the volunteers.
What, that people want to come back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean our weather.
Okay, all gonna snow.
Yeah, there was a lot of snow that weekend. I don't know if I would have wanted to come back if I was. So, but yeah, they did awesome. It was just a really good weekend for the district. I think they represented us well. Questions from the public about the. Okay. Oh.
Co-Superintendent Henderson, you mentioned in your report there would be PD training for ELA for the new curriculum. Which grades is that? K-12 or K-8?
It's going to be, it'll be elementary school. I haven't seen anything coming out yet for the 9 to 12 ELA. That's why they said it was the new. It's not really new, but there hasn't been a lot of implementation because they released it and then we went into COVID. So we were fortunate we had a pilot team that went out, so we were able to do some of that. But we have a lot of new teachers, so yeah.
I think that's what I was
We had a question. Paul, yeah. Paul from Rogers, do you have any questions?
Yeah.
Okay, motion to move into camera in 10 minutes. Pardon?
And doesn't forget to share. She's one of the winner of the MSBA convert.
Oh yeah, my prize.
Oh.
No, my
Did
prize.
you get it to her?
I tried to help
Did
her.
you?
Next one. I'll have her check. Remember we had the
Oh
student.
yes.
And for the students, our students, RD Parker students, I forgot.
Yes.
I took the picture. I was trying to figure
Yes,
out.
I actually did.
She will be here next week. She wasn't
Next week?
available, or the next meeting, she wasn't
Yeah.
available to come to this meeting.
Okay.
And I have her money.
Our student
Okay.
achievement.
Yeah. No, I was trying to
Yeah.
figure out the
I
because
totally
I
forgot
remember I
about
took the
that.
picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the name of the students?
It
I forget.
What was the achievement?
She won, just I can't remember what
I was trying to figure out the picture from my phone because I remember that I took the pictures.
I have it too.
And actually it was in the Citizen also, all the names of all the winners, the
Oh, okay.
recipients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I won the inaugural AMM Citizenship Award. at
I think
Mass
I
back
shared
in
the
day.
picture with you. Lori?
No, yeah.
You're gonna send it to, okay.
Yeah,
That
I
was
sent
like
you the picture.
I don't wanna say her name.
14 years
I
ago.
sent you the pictures. I sent you the picture. How is the pictures?
We actually have a hard bottle award here that our students won for making education work. I think it's on that wall. There's.
Yeah.
we
Oh,
had
yeah.
one a few
The
years-
plaque?
Yeah, yeah. But we also had a student this year win. And she is quite the volunteer.
Asami?
She's a great. Oh, Darasimi Alaboy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she won the individual award recipient and was Student Citizenship Award for
Very
Region
cool.
4.
Very cool.
Yes, and
Yeah.
she will be here at the next board meeting, so we can present her with her
Yeah.
her check.
Yeah.
As if it came from us.
Yeah,
We will never know.
Came out of the views.
I'll get a motion to move into camera in 10 minutes. Trustee Tomaszewski, Trustee Young, all in favor? Okay.